There's a department in your company, a whole department that exists specifically to make you feel supported. They have a friendly name, a warm office maybe, an open-door policy. They talk about culture, about well-being, about psychological safety. And when something goes wrong, when your manager is being unfair, when a colleague crosses a line, when the environment starts feeling toxic, every instinct in your body says go to HR. Because that's what they are there for, right? That's what I used to believe too. My name is Berlin. I've spent years inside corporate systems, sitting in those meetings, reading between those emails, watching how decisions actually get made. And I want to talk to you about something I wish someone had laid out for me much, much earlier. HR is not on your side. Not because they are bad people, not because they don't care, but because the system they operate inside was never designed for you in the first place. And once you see it, you can't unsee it. Let's be real clear about something before we go further. HR, human resources. The name itself is the first clue. Resources, not people, not individuals, resources. In the language of corporate structure, you are a resource. Just like a budget line, just like a software license. Something to be managed, allocated, and optimized. HR's actual job, its legal, structural, fundamental job, is to protect the company, not you. The company, they manage liability. They ensure legal compliance. They minimize risk. And when something comes up, a complaint, a conflict, a termination, they are asking one core question. What is the best outcome for the organization? Not for you. For the organization, this is not personal. It is structural. The people working in HR are often genuinely decent. Some of them went into that field because they actually care about people. But it doesn't matter how much an individual HR professional cares, the system they operate inside has a defined purpose, and that purpose is risk management. When you understand this, you stop being confused. You stop being surprised. You stop feeling betrayed. Because betrayal only happens when expectations don't match reality. So let's fix the expectation. Let's say your manager is creating a hostile environment. You've tried to handle it directly, it hasn't worked, and someone tells you just go to HR. So you do. You walk in, you explain the situation, you feel relieved. Finally, someone's listening. Here's what's actually happening in that room. The HR professional is assessing exposure. How credible is this claim? Does it create legal risk? Is this person a flight risk? Is the manager performing well? What's easier, managing this employee out or managing the manager? They are running a cost-benefit analysis in real time. And if your manager is a top performer, or if your complaint is hard to document, the math usually doesn't work in your favor. That's not cruelty. That's just how risk management operates. Now let's talk about performance improvement plans, PIP. Here's what a PIP actually is. It's documentation. It is the company building a paper trail that makes it legally clean to let you go. In most cases, not all, but most, by the time HR sits you down for that conversation, the decision has already been made. What you're looking at is a process, not an opportunity. The language sounds supportive. We want to help you succeed. But the structure is legal protection. They are covering themselves before the exit. When you understand that, you stop trying to pass the PIP and start thinking about your next move. That's the right response. Now think about compensation. You go to HR asking about your salary. Maybe you've done your research, you know your market value. You think you deserve more. HR does not determine what you're worth. HR manages the compensation structure the company has already decided on. They are not your advocate in that conversation. They are the gatekeeper of a budget that was set before you walked in. The system rewards people who create leverage, not people who rely on loyalty. If you want a raise, you need something HR respects, a competing offer, documented results, proof that losing you costs more than paying you. Loyalty doesn't move the needle. Leverage does. And when there's conflict between two employees, HR gets involved, and the question they are solving is not who's right. The question is what resolution creates the least disruption and the least liability. That might mean mediating. It might mean moving one person to a different team. It might mean a quiet exit for whoever is creating the most friction, regardless of who started it. Fire. But fair is not the KPI. Stability is. Here's the thing about corporate systems. They are not designed around individuals. They are designed around continuity. The company needs to keep running. It needs to hit numbers, manage headcount, minimize disruption, and protect itself legally. Every policy, every process, every HR function exists inside that framework. And this creates a gap between what employees feel they deserve, fairness, loyalty, recognition, and what the system is actually built to deliver. Most people feel this gap and take it personally. They feel betrayed when HR doesn't fight for them. They feel confused when a loyal employee gets let go before an underperformer who's better politically connected. They feel frustrated when the system seems blind to what's actually right. But it's not blind. It's just optimizing for something different than you are. The system rewards low risk. It rewards compliance. It rewards people who are easy to manage and difficult to lose. It does not reward loyalty. It does not reward being a good person. It does not reward working yourself into the ground for a company that sees you as a line item. This isn't personal. It's structural. And once you understand that, once you really internalize it, something shifts. You stop asking the system to be fair, and you start learning how to navigate it. So what do you actually do with this? Stop thinking in terms of loyalty and start thinking in terms of value exchange. Your relationship with your employer is a transaction. You provide skills, time, and results. They provide compensation, experience, and opportunity. That's it. When you understand it's a value exchange, you stop expecting gratitude. You start evaluating, is this trade still working for me? That's a much cleaner way to think, and it protects you emotionally. Never use HR as a therapist. HR is not there to process your feelings. The moment you walk into an HR conversation emotional and unprepared, you are giving information without strategy. Anything you say can and will be used to assess risk, your stability, your intentions, your legal exposure. If you need to use HR, use it deliberately. Know what outcome you want before you walk in. Document everything. Be calm, be précis. Use HR strategically, not emotionally. Build leverage. Always. Your leverage is your only real protection inside any corporate system. Leverage is marketable skills. It's a strong professional network. It's options, other opportunities you could pursue. It's the knowledge that you could leave and land somewhere better. When you have leverage, you negotiate differently. You ask for raises differently. You handle conflict differently. You don't grip your job with fear because you know you don't need to. The company will never build this leverage for you. That's your job. Protect your own interests because no one else will. Document your work. Save positive feedback in writing. Know your employment rights. Keep an updated resume always. Build relationships outside your company. Stay visible in your industry. Not because you're planning to leave, but because preparedness is power. The companies that lay off thousands of people in a single announcement, they didn't agonize over it. The decision was made in a boardroom based on numbers. You should give yourself the same level of strategic clarity. And finally, use the system. Don't fight it. Understanding how corporate systems work doesn't make you cynical or disengaged. It makes you smarter. You can thrive inside these systems. You can build great careers, do meaningful work, and have excellent relationships with colleagues and even with HR professionals. But you do it with clear eyes. You stop expecting the system to reward what it was never designed to reward. Here's where it'll leave you. Most people spend their careers frustrated at a system they don't fully understand. They feel unseen, undervalued, confused about why effort doesn't always translate to reward. And that frustration is real. But it comes from a misplaced expectation. HR is not your ally. The company is not your family. Loyalty is not a currency the system trades in. But once you understand the system, you are no longer inside it confused. You're outside it, watching clearly, making decisions with full information. That shift from confusion to clarity, that's not cynicism, that's maturity. It means you stop taking things personally. You stop waiting for the system to validate you. And you start building something the system can't take away: your own leverage, your own options, your own professional identity. The system will keep running. The question is whether you're navigating it or just being carried by it. In Berlin. And now you know how this really works.